The Republican presidential candidates are stumping deep in the heart of Dixie. I think it's actually deep in the heart of Texas, but we're changing it to Dixie for the purposes of this newscast. The primaries in Mississippi and Alabama are next Tuesday. Rick Santorum's hoping to emerge once and for all the sole anti-Romney candidate and make this a two-man race and boot Newt Gingrich out of there. That's his effort anyway. When President Obama ran, he promised not to hire any lobbyists. Remember that? It was a big, big deal. But guess what? The White House just decided to hire a long-time lobbyist. His name is Steve Ricchetti. He's working, will be working, as a chief counselor for Vice President Biden. So what's up with that? That's kind of critical, ain't it? Our political panel set to weigh in on all of this in Washington. Marjorie Clifton, Democratic strategist and national editor of GoVote.com. In West Palm Beach, Florida, Erick Erickson, editor-in-chief of RedState.com. I'm guessing you're just getting an early weekend start by coming to us from Florida like that, right, Eric? Mm-hmm. Is that your story? You're sticking
totally.
to it? You are one honest man. I love it. And in Miami, I smell a rat. You're both in Florida. All right, the Independent's Goldie Taylor, political analyst and managing editor of the Goldie Taylor Project. All right, Marjorie, I want to start with you, okay? You Democrat, you. Steve Ricchetti, what the? He is a lobbyist. I know he de-lobbyist registered, right? So that makes it legal. But isn't that just a loophole, and isn't that just hypocrisy at its finest?
Well, that's just Washington, right? And
no,
I think the Obama...
No, I don't want you to say that's just Washington. Give me something better.
Well, I will say this, that it's hard to go anywhere in this entire city without running into an attorney or a lobbyist, and they're everywhere. And, you know, we had the same issue before, and Gingrich has managed to overcome the same issue of having worked with Fannie Mae. And I'm wondering if, I mean, he does have the history. I will came out of the Clinton administration as Deputy Chief of Staff. Yeah. So he was first and foremost part of the Clinton administration, and very successfully so. So he does have the track record that I think will be useful to the Obama administration. But it does create a little bit of an image problem given all the pushing they did.
A little bit, Marjorie?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, hold that thought for a minute, because this is the image problem I think the Democrats are going to have to chew on big time. Have a listen to President Obama. It's called the mashup, we like to say, on the stump in 2008 about lobbyists.
If you are ready for change, then we can go ahead and tell the lobbyists their days of setting the agenda in Washington are over. They haven't funded my campaign. They will not run my White House. The problem we've got in Washington has to be fixed. The problem of lobbyists and special interests and big money dominating the agenda. At the beginning of this campaign, I said I would not take PAC money. I would not take money from federal lobbyists. They have not funded my campaign. They will not run our White House.
Yeah, that last part I can see coming out in some GOP campaign ads in the next few months. They will not run our White House. There is no amount of Florida sunshine that can disinfect those comments, is there, Eric?
No, not really. And, you know, he's not the first lobbyist. I'm actually kind of surprised by some of the media reports on this, because going back to 2009, the president started giving what the White House was calling waivers to allow lobbyists to come in on several things. And it's not just lobbyists. He talked about big money. The Washington Post has done a story that roughly 80% of the people who gave Barack Obama or bundled $500,000 or more have gotten jobs in the administration, from ambassadors to other
It sounds ugly to the guy on the street like me, and I'm real pedestrian when it comes to politics. I just report on the stuff. I've never worked in your business. But aren't these people really, really good at what they do? They're smart. They know everybody. Aren't they the guys that kind of know how to get things done?
Oh, you know, that's what people were saying in 2008. In fact, some of the Democrats in 2008, go back to the press reports, were kind of scratching their head over Barack Obama saying this. So, but he's the one, the others didn't. So he's trying to have it both ways on a lot of these issues, saying no lobbyists, no big money, and then 80% of the people who bundled $500,000 or more have gotten jobs.
You are good with your talking points, my friend. You get those in there no matter what question I ask you. All right,
it's early. I had to study up.
You know, it's 5:35 in the morning, and you are acing it, my friend.
Let me move on. Gone to bed.
Let me move on to something kind of fun. This is adorable. There was this little moment that played out on the campaign trail that I don't think anybody expected, because it's no secret that Mitt Romney has a bit of an image problem when it comes to being real stiff. But this might change all of that. It was a radio interview, and it had to do with all things breakfast cereal. Have a listen.
You're keeping me up at night? Not much that keeps me up at night. I must admit, by the end of the day,
pretty tired.
I am tired, and I always eat something at the end of the day. My favorite is cold cereal. So I try and eat some cold cereal at the end of the day, and a full tummy and a long day puts me right to bed.
All right, what kind of cereal do you like? We're big cereal fans around here. What's your cereal?
Well, you know, I like Honey Nut Cheerios, and I like Honey Nut Chex, and let's see, I like Crispix. I mean, I like, of course, I love anything with sugar in it. I like the most, you know, Sugar Pops and Honey Smacks and all that. But I don't eat as much of that as the Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, get some Cocoa Pebbles on if it's a really rough day. That's how you handle it.
So here's what I was about to ask you. Wow, isn't it a bit weird that he said full tummy and, you know, at that age? But while he was speaking, Christine Romans was whispering over me, I like Honey Nut Cheerios too. And isn't that the point here? Isn't that the point? That we all kind of like Honey Nut Cheerios, and isn't it adorable that he does too? What do you think, Goldie Taylor? Is this a good thing that all of a sudden he's human?
I think it's a good thing. I think it humanizes him probably for the first time. The point is he's a dad, and so he speaks in terms of tummies and bodies. I mean, I think that's kind of a natural thing. What I took from him yesterday is that he was, you know, campaigning across the South and said that he loved grits. Well, see, I have him over now for grits and cornbread and some collard greens.
He had you at hello, did he, Goldie?
So he had me at hello, and he said he loved grits. And so, yeah, I think it does humanize him for the first time. If he can keep this up, then he could foster a brand new narrative for himself. But I think if he falls back on some of the other things about Cadillacs and, you know, things that people don't really you know, connect with, and then he's got problems.
And you know, everybody likes that about Trump. I don't get it. They love that Trump is just crazy rich, but they don't love that Romney is crazy rich. All right, Marjorie, Eric, and Goldie, stand by. We're going to talk to you a little bit later. Thanks for all those comments and for the tummy factor. Appreciate that. See you in a bit.
Now that we're both hungry.
I know.
Ahead on Early Start, Whitney Houston, her own